right now. Welcome to game 1 of the series between Barton and King Luvnest. King Luvnest has now defeated 2 challengers, which means he is tied with Antilles for first. I guess if there's a tie, I have to force the 2 tied kings to have a tiebreaker series at the end of Starcross Kings. If that ever happens. I guess we'll find out. Let's see if Luvnest can tie with Antilles for first or pull ahead into the lead up against his 3rd challenger, Barton. Oh, that reminds me, I need to fix the Moobot thing. There we go. Man, some pretty serious spam today, apparently. Apparently my moderators are pretty lazy today. Okay. Let's see. Barton has immediately chosen counterattack tactics this game. And Luvnest is playing as Oster on the right side. Samoski Winter is the map this series. We've got Elite Troops, Mechanized Assault, and Mobile Defense for Luvnest. Apparently Mobile Defense is making a bit of a comeback. I don't know if we're going to see any Mobile Defense wins, but I guess it could happen. And I actually haven't seen counterattack in a while, but I know Barton has always liked it, and it seems quite strong recently, so nothing wrong with it by any means. Of course, it is lacking any of the seriously awesome late game call-ins. The KV1 is pretty not that impressive for its price. It's not terrible, but doesn't do anything too crazy. 4 conscript opening for Barton, taking control of the center and north. We're going to see a 3 grenadier opening for Luvnest, moving straight towards the south fuel with grenadiers into the house, and Pyo's doing back capping, spreading himself out pretty far initially. He is going to encounter conscripts here. Could be a close engagement. Conscripts will be charging them over open ground. Conscripts look like they might have been attack moving, so they stop and then disengage. Grenadiers move to the edge of that capture circle. I'll have to think carefully what to do about that conscript squad.
A Maschinengewehr team is awaiting orders. Ivan! And he shoots as bad as he smells!
Sorry. Grenadiers going to flank these conscripts in green cover now from both sides. Setting up in yellow cover, green cover, respectively. Conscripts are going to have to retreat. I think. Falling quite low. There they go. Combat engineers moving to close range on that grenadier squad and might be able to force a retreat. They may struggle though. MG42 from Luvnest in green cover on the cutoff. Force those conscripts away. They'll oorah back into the house. They do get suppressed before they make it. Grenadiers probably need to retreat from that. There they go. This squad taking control of the fuel point though, and Luvnest starts the game off with both fuel points under his control. Barton is going to circle around south here with this squad of conscripts, and he's gone with a 5 conscript opening. No base upgrades yet. No Molotovs, no healing. Just conscripts. There's the center point. Taken. There go those conscripts. Pyo's taking control of the south strategic point right there. Conscripts moving to flank this MG42, which has left its green cover position. It's going to be a little bit vulnerable. Trying to deal damage to the conscripts in the house is bringing them quite low, but it will have to try and reposition to safety. Grenadiers arrive to support. Conscripts move into the cutoff. They are standing in red cover, though. Right in front of that machine gun, and they get suppressed instantly. There's the retreat. I'm not sure he was paying very close attention to that engagement. He is taking control of the north with this wounded combat engineer squad and is about to make another push for the grenadiers in this house. Still no Molotovs to force his opponent from buildings. There's the research now. Healing already researched as well. This is going to be operating on a core of 5 conscripts for now, and spending the rest of his manpower on reinforcement and upgrades. Moves into close range on those Grens, but no Molotovs researched yet. Grenadiers will win this slowly over time until the Molotov forces them from the building. There's the research. Molotov going in. Although they're falling pretty low, Luvnest just leaves the house and he should be able to just win the engagement just shooting at them. Conscripts will retreat. Grenadiers moving up into the center with mortar support there. It's a 3 Grenadier, 1 MG, 1 mortar build, so pretty standard for Luvnest. He has a tendency to use this build. Tier 2 next. And I assume maybe 2-2-1. He seems to like the 2-2-1 on big maps, but against conscript spam might be a little risky because of AT grenades. So we'll see what he decides to do. Mortar firing in the center forces some conscripts to reposition. They will be engaged by grenadiers in this building, but with Molotovs now they can force squads out of houses. This squad has been upgraded with an LMG, but it looks like it's going to have to retreat soon from these 2 squads, making their way towards the north cutoff. Molotov into the building? No? Not sure what Luvnest is doing. There's the Molotov. MG42 sets up in this house. Mortar brings the squad quite low. But they do decapture the fuel. Still, Barton has not held a fuel point at all for the entire game. At no point has Barton held a fuel. Losing on pretty much every front. Struggling a little bit against Luvnest squads being in buildings. This LMG squad, wow, came dangerously close to death. Guy gets sniped in the deep snow, but the squad will survive. Maintain control of that LMG. Mortar set up right here. Pio's taking control of the center VP. Grenadiers taking control of the south fuel. And there's the first squad of shock troops for Barton, which will probably be able to force Luvnest off the map quite well. And that actually may help justify the decision to go 2-2-1 if he does. I think half-track is a little bit more likely, but I don't know. He's floating. Maybe he himself isn't sure what he wants to do. He just spotted those shocks. So he knows his opponent has shocks. Still no tier 2 unit though. Not sure what his plan is. Throwing a bunker up first here in the base. Doing a little reinforcement. Mortar repositioning away from those conscripts. Grenadiers on their way to try and support. There's also 2 squads over here. A minesweeper and LMG Grens in this building. Try and bleed those shocks as they advance. MG42 into the church. Shock troops will have to choose how to use their grenades for this. Conscripts take control of the cutoff house and Grenadiers jump into this house. Shock troops decide to throw a smoke grenade into the church and a frag grenade into this building. Luvnest will dodge and immediately retreat, and there's a full retreat from Luvnest. He doesn't like this engagement at all. 2 conscripts in his retreat path. Shock troops DPSing him down. Those Grenadiers will be lucky if they escape. Looks like they will, since Barton is preoccupied trying to get points captured, apply a really aggressive pressure, doesn't go for that wipe, and those Grenadiers will get away very narrowly. And Luvnest has decided that he needs a half-track. So half-track is in production now, as he's slowly getting pushed back into his base by the 5 conscripts. Shock troops opening here, just leaving him with not that much infantry, and his machine gun just couldn't suppress anything during that engagement. Mortar didn't get any big hits either. So Barton will take control of pretty much the entire map here.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. The bunker is now a field hospital. Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Mortar trying to work on squads in cover here. Nothing too serious happening yet. Barton pulling back away from that half-track, knowing he might struggle in an engagement against it, being used as a forward reinforced position, although he does get a triple cap going against Luvnest for now, so Luvnest is going to have to try and stop that as soon as he can. Barton's harassment in the south is weakest, works on that with the half-track. Grenadiers engaging against conscripts between these 2 buildings, slowly. Conscripts leave the building because they don't want to get mortared out, I assume. Just dancing around a little bit. Molotov over the fence into the house, hoping maybe for a lucky crit. Wow, 3 deaths! That was crazy. 3 3 grenadiers died instantly to that Molotov. 90 manpower. They slowly try and reinforce. Conscripts move around this building to try and get in position to maybe toss another one, do a little bit more damage. Grenadiers set up in green cover and taking control of the central victory point. Here comes a big push by Barton, although his shock troops walked right into a half-track and retreated immediately, so that push did not go well. Both squads retreat immediately. This squad will be easy to take care of with the shock troops gone. Panzer Grenadiers on the field now, taking control of the south. And this one lone squad of conscripts is making its way through the north. We'll be able to get some more territory up there under control, but Luvnest has re-secured his hold on the center of Samosky Winter, and with this half-track, should be able to hold here pretty strong. Curious to see how Barton's going to react to that decision. He has gone tier 2 into tier 4. Wow. Rushing a Katyusha, I think. I assume.
Supply sector under attack.
To try and put pressure on Luvnest's forward defensive positions.
On our territory.
Wow. Some really nasty flame crits this game. Instant retreat on those Panzer Grenadiers, although Luvnest takes the engagement and will secure the south fuel. Shock troops catch those Grenadiers really vulnerable. Luvnest is trying to push the shock troops around so to give those Grens time to reinforce, but they're going down so quick. No, they are gonna die. There's the wipe. This squad not doing much better. Retreating through deep snow. Half-track continues to try to interfere with pathing. Will do so successfully from the look of things, but there's engine damage. That's a dead half-track too. Those conscripts will have no problem catching up to that. The only thing that could maybe save it is this machine gun and LMG Grens right here. It looks like Barton is not going to attempt to chase. There's another Molotov. Oh, but that rifle grenade, that was so sneaky. Wipes a conscript squad, very nice. This conscript squad still trying to chase or look for an opportunity. No, not going to chase down the half-track. Instead, goes for the fuel point here in the south. And here in the north, Pios are taking control of the fuel. Grenadiers throw a smoke grenade, or shock troops throw a smoke grenade on the machine gun. You can't see it because graphics bugs. There was a smoke grenade here for a little while.
With our new weaponry, we are unbeatable. How can we help? We are under Soviet attack!
LMG Grenadiers force a retreat from conscripts there in the south. There they go.
We have liberated the objective.
Yes?
Attack awaiting orders.
Can't believe.
Enemy troops attacking.
Wow, thank you again for your donation, New Power. You donated a lot today. That's very generous, thank you.
Grenadiers ready.
Mortar is bombarding the church. Barton can't seem to decide if he wants to stay in there or not. Dancing in and out. Half-track really needs to get repaired. It's one AT grenade from going up in flames. Barton working on the north fuel with these two conscript squads.
We are ready! Taking Soviet fire! Awaiting orders! No!
Rifle grenade. That wasn't very good. Wasn't a very good rifle grenade. Barely did anything. Barton will retreat from the engagement regardless. Luvnest still has not picked a commander, by the way. Elite troops, mechanized assault, and mobile defense. Think anything could work for him. And I don't know if those Panzer Grenadiers, there they go. There they go. There's tier 3 from Luvnest as well, so he is going to try and put additional pressure on Barton with some sort of tier 3 unit. Should work well against Barton, who is now floating like crazy, by the way. I almost wonder if he's going to go double B4 for maximum troll. He hasn't made a tier 4 unit, interestingly enough. Had the resources to do so for a while, so I'm not sure what he's waiting for. I'm actually kind of curious what he's thinking. Hasn't built anything, in fact, since the shock troop squad. It looks like he's going to go double B4. I'm not sure why he hasn't fielded a Katyusha yet. Maybe he's waiting to see if his opponent is going to field a counter to the Katyusha first, because he does not have any field guns to keep a Panzer IV from driving straight into his base and killing a Katyusha should he field one. Su-85 might be the safer solution. Protect against Oster tier 3, but I don't know. He's going to be at 1,000 manpower soon. There's 8 CPs. And there's a KV-1. And combat engineers will have to retreat to throw up the B4 at some point.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. Supply lines have been cut. Rounds incoming.
KV-1 forces a retreat from that Grenadier squad. Luvnest currently has one AT gun available in the center to counter that thing's push. And his Panzer IV is in production. AT gun plus Panzer IV could easily push that KV-1 back out of the central village as long as nothing goes horribly wrong with these shock troops and flamethrower. Mortar is firing on the flamethrower. Machine gun suppresses the squad. Shock troop is trying to move up into close range. There is a frag into the building. Wow, wipes the squad. Building doesn't even collapse. The machine gun is dead. Fortunately, Panzer Grenadiers plus flame projectors on the half track. Look at that. Apparently, Luvnest munitions control has been that good this game that he felt he could spend 120 munitions on those stupid flame projectors, which are, by the look of things, going to die without killing anything. Unless he can do some very good dancing away from the KV-1 right here. There's the Panzer IV. Panzer IV plus AT gun will be able to be pretty significantly dangerous to the KV-1 right there. Is there a B4 yet? No, no B4 from Barton, who is up to 800 manpower again, by the way. And I'm expecting him to make one, but... By the way, Luvnest doesn't have a stupid dive bomb. He removed close air support from his loadout for this game, so he has no way to actually counter the B4 in his loadout just with a nice, easy button click. 9 CPs and no commander selection. Just working with core Osterra right now. There's the B4. In progress now, and still no tier 4 unit produced. Has the structure, but he has not made anything out of it. He has also fielded himself an extra combat engineer squad. And maybe also something else, I don't know. He had 900 manpower a second ago, I don't know where it all went. This is only 500 of that. Combat engineers are, I guess, just reinforcement costs. Fresh combat engineers B4 and reinforcement costs get his 800 manpower back down to 0. Panzer IV pushes everything Barton has back out of the central village. And Luvnest is up to 106 fuel. Probably gonna, maybe, I don't know, go for Tiger next. Doesn't need fuel for the Tiger Ace. He might just go hard tier 3 into elite troops. See what he decides to do.
Under fire!
S-mine field, oh no, Barton! Oh, that hurt. That Minesweeper squad could probably win against a 2-man conscript squad. There's the retreat. Engine damage being repaired here on the KV-1 in the northwest. Panzer IV is just kind of hovering. Doesn't look like it's really doing anything other than just generally hunting infantry. Still no top-mount machine gun upgrade. Luvnest probably throw that on soon. He has excellent map control. Very much in the lead for VPs, fuel, everything. But once that B4 is done, things might change. Firing its first shot now at something. I don't even have no idea where that's firing. Somewhere over there. Does not hit anything. It's off target.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Grenadiers reinforcing here by the half track, so Barton has played his hand. Luvnest now knows for 100% sure he's up against counterattack, if there was any doubt before. Which, there might have been, I don't know. Or wait, no, of course there wasn't, because there's a KV-1 on the field. Duh. Well, B4 is out, KV-1 is out. Barton using counterattack pretty hard. And Luvnest will, of course, have to react to that as well as he can. Fortunately, the B4 missed his first shot. It will be available to fire again extremely soon. The thing has a very high fire rate. It's crazy.
More of our troops have been lost. Our territory is falling into
Conscripts
enemy
get
hands.
wiped, unfortunately, on the retreat. Somewhere. KV-1 is going to disengage away from the Panzer IV. Crossing the ice is a little dangerous. Oh my god, what is that thing doing?
The enemy has cut off a sector.
B4 firing again towards the middle. That might be a wipe. Almost. Panzer Grenadiers survived narrowly. Both buildings destroyed, though.
Yeah? We are under attack! The Spartans are shooting at us! We are getting good at this job!
B4 still hasn't done anything too crazy, only 2 kills so far. Decent amount of veterancy, though. Wow.
Enemy forces are
Getting up pretty quick.
neutralizing
MG42 firing at the conscripts. The B4, by the way, has changed quite significantly from the last time it was in one of my casts. It no longer has precision strike, direct fire, ignores shot blockers, and is half the cost and has half the range. That 3 bonus has been changed. There's a lot of changes to the B4 to try and make it more balanced and less ridiculous than it was before. So, kind of interesting stuff. So far, it doesn't seem to be doing anything all that impressive, but it just fired again. Pretty good shot that time. But nothing killed. Just a bunch of veterancy. That will give it Vet 1 and access to the direct fire attack. Engagement for the center between these conscripts and mortar will probably force that mortar to pull back. This flame half-track needs to pull back for some repairs too. Luvnest is going to be a little strapped for repairs since he has only 1 pioneer squad. A lot of his forces have pulled back all the way to the base. Panzer IV needs to be very careful. There's for Mother Russia activated by Barton. That could be 2 AT guns cleared. They have almost no protection in the middle. LMG Grens look like they're going to have to retreat from a flamethrower up there in the north too. Although the flamethrower is on red cover and Barton's not monitoring. So that's actually going to get wiped. Nice wipe by Luvnest. KV-8 goes in hard on the Panzer IV on the ice. Oh, it shot. It's the truck. Panzer IV is going to get a miracle escape. AT gun may not be so lucky.
Light artillery awaits your orders.
That one's definitely going to get recovered by these conscripts. Grenadiers seriously need to retreat now. They're in serious danger. Retreating through deep snow. That could be a wipe. With the improved accuracy bonus from Mother Russia, those Grenadiers had no chance. AT gun gets cleared. Grenadiers get wiped. Barton is just winning engagements all over the map, and the loss of his flamethrower doesn't even hurt that much compared to what he killed in exchange. Although he should definitely try and recover. Where is? There it is. Yeah, so he has recovered the AT gun. And both of these tanks, or vehicles, have pulled back desperately for repairs, and Luvnest has chosen mechanized assault so we can try and get a Tiger on the field, maybe dive into the base and kill that B4. There's an Su-85. Finally, the Tier 4 unit is out. That's going to give Barton a very effective tool against Luvnest's heavy tanks. Where's that firing? No idea. Oh. What? Why? Okay, just fired a long shot onto the ice randomly, and that didn't hit anything, but nice attempt, I guess. KV-1 pulling back, Su-85 also pulling back a little bit. These two squads heading towards the south. will eat a rifle grenade, I think. Ooh, that didn't do anything. Although it actually does kind of shut down those conscripts for the next push. They'll probably have to retreat for healing. Unless he just wants to backcap with them. It will weaken them significantly for their next engagement, but not too much manpower bleed. Still an AT gun healing up here in the Soviet base. Two conscript squads making their way towards the cutoff, and Barton had to pull back a little bit. He had a lot of big wins during that engagement, but he still had to pull back a little bit because he had to pull back for healing, especially, and he really wanted to secure that AT gun. But he's in a very good position for both manpower and tanks. He just needs to get some map control back under his under his control. That's redundant. There's that firing. Fired blind, doesn't hit anything. SU-85 looking around for an opportunity against that flame half-track, which actually does force a retreat from those shock troops, but doesn't actually do any real damage to them, of course. Meanwhile, here in the north, the KV-1 is going to chase these grenadiers off the victory point. Eats up a Panzerfaust, doesn't really do anything. Retreating across deep snow could be a wipe if this KV-1 gets a lucky shot.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
No lucky shots. And he will get out of the snow and back to safety. Combat engineers need to restore control of this cutoff. AT gun is crewed and makes its way towards the middle. Here comes a Tiger. They both have one AT gun at their disposal and a smattering of various tanks before firing again somewhere. I think he fired at where he thought the Tiger roughly was based on the engine sound through the fog of war. Again, off target. He hasn't gotten that many huge hits with that before yet, fortunately for Luvnest. And a big part of that is the fact that it doesn't have precision strike anymore. But it does have direct fire, so if a tank gets a little too close, it could definitely just blast one of those tanks.
You now have Tiger tanks at your command.
Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers grabbing the fuel. KV-1 still hovering up here. It does have full health. Conscripts moving to grab that strategic point. Conscripts in the middle. Run straight into an MG42. With vision of these team weapons, by the way, that B4 is going to be 10 times as scary as it already is.
We are losing a sector.
KV-1 takes engine damage up here in the north, and the Tiger is going in on it hard, bringing it down to half health. It's probably dead. The Su-85 and AT gun are trying to move to support in this engagement. That KV-1 doesn't look like it's going to be able to survive this, and it keeps maneuvering away from the support instead of towards it. Panzer IV arrives to head off the support here as well, but it takes huge damage from the various AT weapons there in the south. Tiger is taking its sweet time to destroy this thing, and it might take engine damage too. No, AT grenade just bounced. And why won't that Tiger kill this thing? KV-1's, wow, is that KV-1 really taking on a Tiger in a frontal slugfest? There it goes. But I think that Tiger's gonna go down. Panzer IV is still alive and circle strafes the AT gun to death here, but the Su-85 will kill the Tiger. Now if it takes out this Panzer IV, it's gonna be a huge victory for Barton. Huge victory. B4 is firing too. Where's the B4 shooting? It's shooting towards the middle at something. Off target, does not connect, but the Panzer IV circle strafes the Su-85 to death with support from a recovered AT gun right there. Nicely played by Luvnest, and he gets out of the engagement having lost his Tiger, unfortunately, but taking out an Su-85 and a KV-1. Pretty even trade, honestly. Pretty even trade. Nicely played by Luvnest up there. Comes out on top of that engagement, and more importantly, recovers his AT gun. Not to mention, he still has excellent map control and will get the clock ticking against his opponent once again. Panzer Grenadiers, there's for Mother Russia activated by Barton. He's going to start sprinting infantry all over the map, maybe get some territory back under control, inflict some damage with his conscripts. Man, those flame projectors just do not do anything. I don't know, it has 8 kills. Apparently it's managed to snag some kills while I wasn't looking, and a shock troop squad is dead. I don't know, maybe it wiped the shocks. I'm not sure, actually, what happened.
This is now German territory.
I missed that. So wiping those shocks is definitely a big win for Luvnest. but
Taking on!
Grenadiers reporting.
Brace yourselves, here comes Ivan!
other than that, those flame projectors don't really seem to be helping that much. I wonder how those shocks died. I wish I had caught that on camera.
We have been
LMG Grenadiers engaging against conscripts, falling pretty low. They have to retreat from that engagement. These Grenadiers moving up to try and maybe lead them from a position in green cover here on the KV-1 wreck. As far as fuel, they're both pretty even. Luvnest in the lead because he still has a tank out. Barton probably going to go for a KV-1 or another Su-85 next. I'm not sure. One or the other. Victory points very much in Luvnest's favor, and he's going to be able to get out another Tiger quite soon. MG42 taking control of the south fuel, and that B4 just hasn't paid off enough, really, is what it comes down to. It's only got 3 kills. It's barely inflicted damage on Luvnest at all this game.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad. The territory is out of contact.
Why I keep shooting it at the ice? I guess he's just assuming Luvnest is maneuvering things over the ice. He's had some really close shots. Actually, based on where it's pointed, he probably shot it at the cutoff and it just scattered. So, yep, no big hits yet from that B4, really. RNG hasn't quite gone in Barton's favor with that weapon.
Enemy spot is striking.
But he is, of course, also firing it blind quite a lot. And he's had some close, some near misses, but nothing too serious by that B4 yet this game.
Territory. Our lines of supply are disrupted. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Taking small arms fire.
Infantry contact.
Panzer IV moves to re-engage a field gun here in the north, has to circle straight for that to death. There's KV-1 though. KV-1 supporting against that Panzer IV could be a serious problem for Luvnest. He's gonna have to try and blitz to safety. Field gun gets a big shot. KV-1 also takes a shot. I heard a B4 shot, but based on the troop count, I don't think it hit anything. And it looks like that Panzer IV is screwed. Destroyed engine out of control. Nicely done by Barton with the KV-1 field gun combo up there. Luvnest overextended his Panzer IV and loses it, and Barton will sort of retake the lead, but again, a Tiger's probably on the way. Could prove difficult for Barton to take out, but he has the tools. If he gets big B4 hits, if he just uses his mines, AT grenades, AT gun, and KV-1 intelligently, he can definitely take on a KV-1 just the same way he took out the first one, really. Or he can take on a Tiger just the same way he took out the first Tiger. Although he did have an Su-85 to help against the first Tiger, so he's not got quite as many tools at his disposal as he did then. He's also lost his stolen AT gun, so he has been weakened a little bit, and he's still struggling to get control of a second victory point. Flame half-track moving up a little bit. There's from Mother Russia activated again. It's going to come to an end now. KV-1 fully repaired very soon. There it is. Trying to bleed those Panzer Grenadiers, and Luvnest is moving to try and set up another triple cap. Ooh, sneaky AT gun maneuver right there. B4 is just fired, but not at that AT gun blob. It's firing at something in the middle. Probably off target again. Yeah, that didn't hit anything. It still only has 3 kills. It's fired so many times. I don't know why it keeps firing that blind. It just isn't hitting anything with that. He's got no return on that thing. Clearly proving quite problematic.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Molotov toss on the machine gun forces the retreat, but Barton will also retreat. Oh my god, he's repairing on ice. Fortunately, there are no Tigers, or no tanks even, of any kind. I love this to punish that behavior. AT guns are going to move up to put pressure on him and force him off the battlefield completely, though, way into the back. Fresh shock troop squad from Barton making its way to the front line to try and push Luvnest off of his cutoff, and we have a little bit of harassment here in the south by this conscript squad to try and slow down this triple cap. There's for Mother Russia activated again. B4 firing somewhere at the AT guns, I think. Ooh, way off target. That wasn't even close. Jeez, that was a terrible shot. Is this scatter really that big, that short of a distance? I can't even believe that just landed right there. Alright. That seemed like a pretty extreme case of RNG. B4 continues not to really do anything. Grenadiers are going to force a retreat from that conscript squad. Barton trying to take out those AT guns while he has a window of opportunity to do so, but he will disengage as they move across the ice to try and get victory points under his control. He has stopped the clock at 56 points thanks to a push for the center and south, but he was forced away from the south, so he very much needs to hold the center and take the north simultaneously, if at all possible. His KV-1 is Vet 1, so it's got a secure mode to try and grab that north VP. Dodges the rifle grenade here in the middle and forces a retreat from that Grenadier squad, so he does still have control over the center. Luvnest has been forced completely off the map back into his base. A couple squads making their way back to the front line. And a Tiger, fresh Tiger, rolling onto the field. This Tiger could be the means. Luvnest needs to completely secure the game. Take game one if Barton doesn't make some sort of miraculous comeback from here, which clearly is proving very difficult for him to do. B4 firing again. Misses again. He just cannot get a single shot to connect with this thing. How many times has it fired this game? 3 kills. That's just... it's gone from being not that good to being really just terrible. Terrible investment in this game. It's done nothing. That's probably one of the most useless B4s I've ever seen. Most of the B4s that show up in my cast are just devastating. Killing everything on the map. That one's like LEFH tier right now. Light artillery barrage falling on the AT gun right there. Not a very good spread for Luvnest, unfortunately. Tiger gets a good shot off, though. KV-1's getting a couple penetrating hits on the Tiger as well. Meanwhile, in the south, infantry are winning the engagement for that victory point. KV-1 receiving some repairs. Tiger disengages away from that. Fell to about half to that AT gun. Panzer Grenadiers moving up on the south flank of that gun. Should be able to clear that pretty easily. AT guns firing at the KV-1. Bring it very low, very fast, and it has to pull back to safety. It barely even survives that engagement. Tiger is going to move to re-engage and follow up on that. If this position falls, it's probably GG. If the position in the south falls, it's probably GG. Barton is trying to take control of the center, but the flame half-track has arrived to harass. Ooh, look at that! It actually did something! Wow! What was that? That was like crazy damage! That must have been really good RNG, because that's unusual. Just took out 4 conscripts with one really quick burst right there, engaging both squads simultaneously with each of the projectors, and Barton will retreat, rather than try to AT grenade it to death, which means Luvnest will prevent the capture of the center VP. Currently taking control of the south VP, has won the engagement for the north VP. Barton has been pushed completely off the map, and that is almost certainly the game. I don't think there's anything Barton can do to recover from the fact that he just got pushed off all 3 victory points. And Barton has surrendered. Well, nice to see counterattack attempted this patch, because it has been changed significantly since the last time I've really seen it seriously used in a 1v1. I feel like the B4 was either used poorly or used just terrible RNG, one of those two things, I don't know. It didn't do anything. KV-1 and SU-85 tier 4 combos seemed to work really well initially, but Luvnest just emerged the victor. Mechanized assault wins game 1. Short break, and we'll go into game 2.